Deacon Jeff, along with Kim Schrader in the studios, our brand new studios for Holy Family Radio on the campus of St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in Glandorf, Ohio. This is our home base, and you can listen to us at 88.9 WJTA in Glandorf, 94.9 WOHA in Ada, Lima, and W204CU in Findlay. Also soon to come, 90.9 FM in Fostoria and 89.7 in Van Wert, coming in the next year or two. So you can be a part of all the exciting things going on at Holy Family Radio by calling and joining us with your best gift, your best donation to 888-287-0655. That's 888-287-0655. 888-287-0655. You could also text the word give to 419-969-3255. That's 419-969-3255. You text that number, you'll get a link back with that'll take you to our online donation page, and you can make your donation right there. I'll be notified of that as I sit here in the studio, so I can add it to our pledge drive tracker so that we can see where we're at. And we've gotten off to a pretty decent start today, but we would like that phone to ring some more here in the studio at 888-287-0655. Let us know that you're listening. Maybe you're a new listener. Maybe you want to become part of the Holy Family Radio family, and you can do that and partner with us in the effort of evangelization by calling 888-287-0655. So this first hour, and actually this is our second hour of the Spirit Drive today, our underwriter that we'd like to publicize and promote is Glandorf Insurance. Glandorf Insurance here on Main Street in Glandorf. If I could walk over to my window, I could look across the street and I could see Glandorf Insurance's office is over there next to where the post office is on Main Street in Glandorf. I want to thank them for their support as part of Holy Family Radio. We'd love for you to be a part of it as well at 888-287-0655. Our first guest is on the phone right now, and we're pleased to welcome in Gino DiMattia. He's from the Serra Club of Lima. We've had him join us at past Spirit Drives, and now he's joining us on the phone today, and I'd like to welcome Gino.
Hi, Deacon Jeff. How you doing today?
I am doing well, sir. Now, the Serra Club of Lima, I'm pretty familiar with, and I'm sure some of our longtime listeners are as well, but there may be many who don't know what the Serra Club is and what they do, and maybe you could give us an idea about that and give us an idea of what's the latest that's going on with the Serra Club.
Sure. The Serra Club is a service organization of Catholics that promotes vocations to the priesthood and religious life. They do it in many different ways, but that's their primary objective. Another objective they have is to promote the own spiritual growth of the members. So a strong sense of belonging and community amongst Serrans, as well as the mission of helping ensure that the sacramental life and the work of the church continues into far beyond our years. So we support priests who are serving and sisters who are serving today, those who have served in the past, and hopefully those who will be serving in the future, those who are potential discerners. And we do that in just all kinds of ways. The organization has different layers, if you will. One of them is your local club. That's the elemental or fundamental one, I guess. That's the one that I belong to, is the Lima area one, which consists of members in a handful of parishes around Lima, Adelphus, and there are three clubs in the Toledo diocese. One of them is in Tiffin, and the other one is in Toledo. We are always looking for new members, but the mission of Serra is really what we're all about, and to help people engage in that mission. One of the things we do, here within our diocese is we just support the vocations office. So whatever things that they have going on in their calendar year, that we try to support them in their efforts in whatever way we can. Here in Lima, the club, for example, they have a vocation retreat or discernment day for seventh graders, and we kind of sponsor that for like the 3 different elementary schools that are in the Lima area come to that. We've been doing that for years in November, I believe. But so that's one example. But the other things would be maybe reception after an ordination. That's one of the things that the Sarah clubs have done over the years as well, underwriting that. Outside of the diocese, though, in that effort, and things at the parish level, there's always the sense that we have a connectedness to other countries and other places in the country within the United States. Your vocation director, learns from other vocation directors across the country. Our vocation director is Father Philip Smith, and they're given opportunities to learn from how people are encouraging vocations in dioceses across the country, and also. At a parish today, you don't have to look very far to see the influence of, people from outside of the United States. So, we had a priest in our parish who was from India. He was reassigned. So now we just have our single priest serving as pastor. But when you have a sort of foreign-born priest serving your parish, it really underscores the importance of vocations in our world today and in our church. So that one of the layers of Sarah is that it's an international scope organization. So it's Sarah International, that we have, clubs that are working for vocations, supporting vocations in countries like Brazil, Thailand, Italy, and Canada, Mexico. So we're really spread out quite a lot. And I'm in the Des Moines, Iowa today, and I was just talking to the club, the USA Council president. That's another layer, is just the country council, they call them. But Mike Downey was saying that they have Nigerian priests that serve this diocese, and that without those Nigerian priests, it would really be, a very different landscape for the service of the parishes. So you go to any religious order, and you'll definitely see that. It's just incredible. So, looking outside of your immediate surroundings, I guess is the point I try to underline, in that when you are involved in an organization that has that kind of scope, it really does help you see that landscape overall. And so that's, belonging to that, and how important that mission is to encourage that, not only within your, immediate surroundings, but outside of our diocese, outside of even our country. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. Do you get involved with the Andrew dinners that go on around the diocese for vocations?
Yeah, it's more in promotion at this stage. At one time, we were like maybe escorting, but it's really however the diocese wants to promote that. So, an Andrew dinner would be an opportunity to have a dinner with the bishop, and those the way it's structured here with our bishop now is they maybe have, say, 4, 5, 6 of these a year, and they're spread throughout the diocese. And when it's scheduled for a particular area, let's say in Findlay, it would be on, May 15th. We would actually have, make sure that the pastors in this area are aware of it, and that they are thinking of individuals that they may invite to come. And if they have an individual that says that they would come to that dinner, that they actually bring them themselves. Mm-hmm. That's the way it's done now. Mm-hmm. But we would promote that, and make sure that, people are aware of it. If it be, announced at church or put in the bulletin or what have you. But we do have other kinds of encouragement of discernment, but that's one that's been going on for a long time. Andrew dinner, the idea that Andrew went out as soon as he learned that in John's gospel that John was baptizing the Lamb of God. He wanted right away to bring somebody his brother to him. So he went out to Peter and says, "Hey, you got to see this guy." And so an Andrew dinner would be, somebody bringing somebody else to seriously consider the discernment process of priesthood. So.
Very nice. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that because I do know that seems to be one of the primary methods that Bishop Thomas uses to sort of show that there are opportunities to invite young men and what they're doing for vocations there at the diocese. And in fact, Father Phil Smith, director of the Office of Diocesan Vocations, is our next guest at the next hour. So you're going to be he'll be a nice follow up to you. You're the warm up act right now, but so what is kind of the latest with the Serra Club? In terms of your membership and other things, what you got going on?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of efforts to retain members. We're always promoting and recruiting in that sense, if you want to put it that way. But and we've had membership drives where we have awards given to clubs who are successful with attracting new members at a certain level and stuff. We've been doing that for several years, but we found that when we've studied, let's say, the last 5 years, that the trend has been, while we've attracted, say, maybe 500 new members, we've lost in that same time period like 400. So it's really been a challenge. It means we have a high turnover at this time, but it also means we're spending a lot of energy, just barely to grow a little. So we're really trying to make sure that we're more successful with that energy, and it's better where it's spent more efficiently, I guess I should say, by retaining the people that we have, by engaging them, making sure that their club meetings are meaningful, that they each member has a good sense of purpose and belonging when they come to a club meeting, for example, or when they're asked to help out with a particular activity. We have a lot of tools that we use for vocations. That's one thing that we've had for several years now, and right now they're doing some not adjusting. They're tweaking it somewhat. They're looking at the website that shares those tools. They're looking over that to make it a little bit more interactive. They've also translated. They're started the process of translating each of those 28 tools that's on a website called Serra Spark. Translating those into Spanish so that people, can also access it who maybe not be in this country, or even those in this country that are wanting to promote vocations within the Hispanic community can do so very easily. That's the quickest growing Catholic population in the country are Hispanics, and they are especially fast growing when you consider those who are under the age of 25. So we're very much challenged by that, but that's some of the efforts that we're engaged in now. We have those 28. We have them boiled down to 7, especially like potent or effective tools called 7 Greats, and it includes things like prayer things like 31 Club, where you're just asking people to commit to maybe praying one day a month. There's a holy hour for vocations. So if your parish happens to have a holy hour, you can kind of organize how that parish could, make vocations kind of the theme for that holy hour. Maybe pick one a month or something like that. There's something called Ignite that is a parish vocation ministry workshop, and we're helping dioceses promote vocations across the country, and we've done it, I'd say, 20 times or more now. And each workshop is by invitation. So the diocese invites Serra to come and help them promote vocations. So we supply a core group, maybe 2 people, to provide sort of the guidelines and the leadership for this workshop. And it is an active morning. I mean, it's a Saturday, and it involves a presentation about what Serra is, but also really about what vocation work is and how it happens at a parish level. And really it provides structure so that those attending can actually, brainstorm how they can make those things happen within their own parish. So it is really a workshop. And by the time they're done, they go back to their parishes and they have some kind of a nucleus to go by and to start. But they're invited, at least 5 parishes when they have these Ignite workshops, that they call it. They have like maybe at least 5 different parishes and individuals from each of those that come to the workshop. We're doing one in Louisville on September 9th. I'll be able to go to that on a Saturday, and looking really forward to that. So that's parish vocation ministry. That's a really, really important aspect of what we do. I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. So where it's where really people are at, and that's where they can have the most influence if you're talking about future vocations and things like that, and supporting the health of the priests and the work of the sisters as well. So we're all for each of those, and we know that the parishes is where things happen. There's an awareness aspect of what we do, just making sure that people know what vocations are and what their role might be. We all are involved. We're all involved, I guess. We all participate in the sacramental life of the church. We're all have our catechesis. So it's important that priests and sisters are doing what they do, and brothers are doing what they do. What role do we play in that, in their support, and as well as the future of that. So praying for vocations really is the fundamental thing that everybody is asked to do. That's straight from Luke's gospel. Pray for the master of the harvest to send workers into his harvest. And the holy hours is one aspect of that. Certainly 31 Club I gave as an example. The traveling chalice is Adopt a Seminarian would be another one, but traveling chalice, these are some tools that I'm kind of mentioning that are part of the Sarah Spark website, sarahspark.org. But traveling chalice is a particularly strong one that you can actually have either a chalice or a crucifix that is shared within a family for a week, and they bring it home from the parish. So they pick up that chalice at the weekend liturgy, and they bring it home and pray for vocation. They focus on vocation for a week, and then they bring it back the next weekend, and it's passed on to another family or another home. And it's a really effective way to we call it cultural vocations. That's kind of a term that's tossed around a lot, and it's just basically keep things in a positive, always on the in front of people that this is something that's an important part of their life. And one of my favorite tools that I participated in is Adopt a Seminarian, and I've had the chance to be corresponding with a seminarian within the Toledo Diocese, and it's a really great encouragement. And their process of discernment is a really sometimes is a roller coaster ride. So they really do appreciate somebody who's kind of going through the highs and lows of that, and supporting them throughout. One thing that priests understand, and especially vocation directors, is that the call to go to seminary is not a call to priesthood; it's a call to discern whether God is calling you to priesthood. So it's kind of a process, and so at any rate, those who are able to go through that process and find that they are called to be a priest, it's really exciting that if you've kind of gone that journey with them, and you can go to their ordination and stuff like that. So you have a special bond there. Mm-hmm. Our diocese is blessed. We have some great seminarians. We're looking forward to our future ordinations, and those who are going to be ordained the temporary deacons this year, and so there's some lots of things to be thankful for. The bishop has been really very, as always, easy to access, I guess. He's been amongst the people going to parishes to talk about different things in the diocese, and certainly vocation work is part of that. Mm-hmm. And I always I'm very excited when I can be a part of that as a Saran. They kind of know priests, you have a lot of opportunities to have relationships with some of these priests and sisters. So it's a really, we have regular meetings and invite priests and sisters to come to those meetings oftentimes and speak to us, and so you do establish relationships, and that's a really great I guess motivator for some people to consider joining a Sarah Club, is they have, they really do enjoy their parish priest, and they want to get to know and maybe have some of their children get to know a little bit more about different priests and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great that you guys offer, like you say, a tool set of different things that can be employed to help foster vocations. And I know at our parish, at one time, we did have the vocation kit that they passed out every Friday to one family. And I have direct experience with that because a little interesting story is that I got the call, but I believed a call to become a deacon, and it was literally the week. Let's put it this way: I felt this was a really strong call, and I started going to daily mass, and I ended up going to, very shortly after this, I went to a Friday morning mass, school mass, and they did this vocation kit thing. And so they called up the family, and the kids brought it up, and they said, okay, we're going to draw a name. And I thought, they're going to draw my name. They're going to draw our name. I'm going to get this kit, and that means this is going to happen, And lo and behold, they did. They called our name. And I was just like, okay, that's it, What further confirmation do I need? So we prayed not just for vocations, but we prayed for me specifically. Like, is this really the right thing or not? So believe it or not, folks, that stuff works. The work of the Holy Spirit for sure. So you're listening to the Spring Spirit Drive here on Holy Family Radio, talking to Gino DiMattia, the Lima area Sarah Club of Sarah International, a vocation support and generations group, I guess you might say. We need you, though, to help support us at 888-287-0655. 888-287-0655. Holy Family Radio does get involved with fostering vocations as well, because not only are people inspired and educated through, the programming that happens here. I mean, I am one of those vocations that came from Holy Family Radio. It was Holy Family Radio that was instrumental in me also making my discernment into becoming a permanent deacon. So if you want to be a part of that, I encourage you to, if you want to be a part of helping other people also discern a vocation, give us a call at 888-287-0655, 888-287-0655.
Don't forget, you can also donate online to Holy Family Radio or at holyfamilyradio.com, .fm.
That's correct.
That's an important distinction,
yes,
and I almost messed it up. .fm as in FM radio. Mm-hmm. If you do org or com or a variety of other things, you're going to get the wrong Holy Family Radio network. You can also use our app, the Holy Family Radio app, and make a donation through that. And if you'd like to receive a direct link to go to the donation page, you just simply need to text the word GIVE to 419-969-3255. Gino, a little curious about, that we're in the midst of the National Eucharistic Revival. Could you tell us if that's having any effect on the work of the Sarah Club? If so, how? How are you seeing that?
Yes. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
I have been able to attend the work. The Eucharistic Revival prayer service that was in Kalida. So they scattered them throughout this stage. This is the first year, so they have organized things kind of at a diocesan level. So they had each of these different areas around the diocese that had, just an afternoon of prayer and reflection about that. And it has been involved. I think it's in our own spirituality, our own spiritual growth. But how important the Eucharist is to our spirituality. I guess that it's the place of coming together at Mass, as well as where we find rest and refreshment. I mean, I guess I would put it that way. My sense of own journey has really been a sense of, or my spirituality with growing up really was influenced heavily by the Eucharist, in the sense that I had a strong sense of belonging. Whenever I was able to go to Mass, I was able to do it within the context of the family, and just being a part of a larger family with the parish. So as a Saren today, that sort of sense of belonging is kind of carried over. The things that happen at the parish level will kind of be seen in this next year, where the Saren clubs and Sarens can be a lot more actively involved. But at this stage, it's just more of anticipation and promotion. I'm part of the online community of those who are supporting the Eucharistic revival. Enthusiasm that is, I guess, the goal really of this revival. It's not a program, but it's igniting a fire, as Bishop Cousins would say. The process of coming together is always exciting, and I have some Sarens who in the Lima Club that are perhaps the parish contact person for the Eucharistic revival. So St. Charles Borromeo is my particular parish, and we have an individual at the parish that is with the Toledo Diocese persons who are, kind of organizing all the parishes into those who are going to be kind of leading some efforts at the parish level. So I'm looking forward to next year and what that will bring. And the things that are underlying are things like Corpus Christi Sunday, where that's the role of how the Eucharist plays a big part in our own spiritual life is underlined. Vatican II, said it's the source and summit of our faith, of our and really it's the our own individual. It's kind of the root of our individual growth. And I find for myself that when I am trying to do what I know is best, and sometimes I falter and I come face to face with my own weakness, it's really through the sacraments that I'm brought back to, where that North Star is, and get centered again. And that's really what I feel is what the Eucharistic revival is for me, is to kind of, I guess, help me be ever grateful for that gift, and to perhaps share that. That was, I guess, one of the take-home messages that I received when we were in the Kaleida area was, how has the Eucharist played a role in your own life? And I think in my family life, it was a sense of belonging, and the support of the priests and sisters was always there. So it kind of dovetails really pretty naturally with supporting priests and religious life in my own growth. So it was just so much respect for those individuals who devote their life to serving the church in this way. So we were able to have maybe a Franciscan monk who was maybe other places, but he would come home every so often. And whenever he came home to where I lived in Wichita, Kansas, they were able to make themselves available at the parish, and my parents would invite over, to just be able to share, maybe a breakfast or something like that. And just a great role model. We have a program that underlines that personal invitation from a priest to the potential discerner. And that's I don't know if the timing has anything to do with Eucharistic revival per se, but certainly the role of the priest in providing that gift is highlighted. And the program is called the Challenge Coin, and the underlying I guess research, if you want to put it that way, is that the most important element of a person's discernment, or the highest influence of their discernment, is a person's priest or the sister that they know, the person they've had in their life that has actually reached out to them, that has served in that capacity. So it'd be one thing for me to say, John, have you considered being a priest? But it would be much, much different if, Father Kent came up to John and said, would you consider being a priest? That's a much different story. And so what we do is we have a minted challenge coin that actually has on one side the words, have you considered becoming a priest? And it's got some symbols on it. And on the flip side, it has Serra International with the cross. It's got a hole at the top for, I guess, putting on a keychain and stuff. And basically, it's meant for a priest to hand to a young person who's discerning, who could be discerning whether they wanted to be a priest. And they have one that's in the works right now that is basically the same idea, but it says, have you considered consecrated or serving in religious life? So again, it's the personal invitation, kind of boils down to relationship. I think that's really where there's a tremendous, potential, and that's really where the Spirit is in all of this, is that when we are aware and are present with those who are around us, we know that our Lord is there. And, we grow together, we're on the same journey. And when we are helping one another in their journey, it's really where the work of the Lord is there. And serving as a priest or sister is really an honor, and to be part of their journey and help them be a part of so many other people's journey is really a tremendous gift. Mm-hmm. So everybody has a role in that, to encourage those things and to be aware of how the Lord is playing in their life. In our relationship, our own spirituality is a relationship based too. It's not, this catechesis that was, taught to you in elementary school and that, you wrote the Baltimore stuff, or it's really what you kind of internalized into your heart. And so, it's really the relationship with God that everything comes from. And really the Eucharistic revival is about that, is helping us come back to terms with that. It's not a coincidence that that's happening now. The whole basis for the Eucharistic revival is that there's, a real, just a tremendous need for Catholics to come to terms with really what they believe in terms of the presence of Christ in the Eucharist. So those different years of stages, really, we're at the diocesan level now, we'll be in the parish level this next year. Really, eventually, it's to reach out. So first of all, we have to nurture our own, place and how we are aware of the role of the Eucharist in our own life and our own spirituality before we can actually share that with others. You can't bring to others what you don't yourself have first. So that's basically where we're headed. And to the extent that Serrans are leaders, in maybe the encouragement of service to the church, and in their own practice of their faith, people that are daily mass attendees, or going to holy hours, those are oftentimes Serrans in my world here. So in Lima, taking your own spiritual growth really seriously is part of really what we're all about. So when we have a chance to share that and to maybe to bring other people into that sense of responsibility and just tremendous love for their faith, that's really what it's all about. So we have a lot of things to look forward to. I don't know right now what's going to happen this summer about the particulars. I know that they have Pat Odimuri was part of the service that was going on at. She was organizing a lot of that in the Kaleida. We actually had her as a guest at our Serra Club meeting just a month or so ago. That's, I guess you could put it, that's one way that it's influencing the work of Serra right now, is we're just kind of promoting it and increasing people's awareness. Mm-hmm. The national head of the effort across the country really is a bishop out of northwest Minnesota, who used to be the spiritual director, or the bishop that was appointed to Serra in the United States. So that was Bishop Andrew Cousins several years ago. So they call it Episcopal advisor is the title they use for that. But But it's just tremendous. And we had a great interview with Matthew Kelly. I just was really thrilled to see that. I encourage anybody that would be wanting to learn more to look up that information more also on the website, and to become a part of the, sort of the newsletters that are put out. You can easily register for that.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate all that information you've been able to share with our listeners here on Holy Family Radio during our Spring Spirit Drive 2023. Give us a call, listeners. Have we not had a call yet this morning?
We not that I can recall. So it's now's the time to call.
Yeah, it's a great time to call. 888-287-0655. I believe then if we haven't had any calls, we likely have matching funds available, although they can be taken advantage of via online pledging.
Yes.
So give us, take advantage of matching funds available. Your $50 can become $100. Your $500 could become $1,000. Pledge now to be a partner with us, to be part of the Holy Family Radio family in proclaiming the truth and beauty of the Catholic faith with clarity and charity. 888-287-0655. I believe we probably have to move on to a break. Go ahead, Deacon Jeff.
Yeah, we do. But I do want to give Gino the opportunity to let folks know how they can learn more about the local Lima Serra Club and consider becoming a member.
Yes, the local Lima Club, they meet every other Thursday at the high school in Lima. They could contact St. Charles Borromeo, who has the pastor, Father Kent Kaufman, is our chaplain. Every Serra Club has a chaplain assigned to them, and they can find out a lot more in that way. Nationally, look up serraus.org. The other things that they can do is they can just make sure that praying for vocations is kind of high on their list of priorities. One of the things that's happening in April is about World Day of Prayer for Vocations. And generally the Vatican is part of that. They actually put out a statement from the Pope, the letter for that purpose. But April 30th is that. It's a Priesthood Sunday, which is the Good Shepherd Sunday is when that is every year. That's the fourth Sunday of Easter. They can learn about Serra through reaching out to myself. I can give my number here, or you can post that. Or the current club president in Lima is Carl Berger, and like I said, Tiffin. And there's some people that come to meetings in the Putnam County area, but it's every second and fourth Thursday of the month. We do take a break in the summer months between beginning of June and August, and we do every other week during the school year. We are going to be going to like Osgood for their. They have that. It's a restaurant there that has a ministry attached with it. So we're going to be taking like a field trip for one of our meetings in May. So it's a pretty cool thing. Going to an ordination, whether it be a diaconate or a priesthood ordination, is really exciting. I would really encourage people to do that. That's where they can maybe also be meeting other Serrans.
All right, very good. Thank you, Gino, for taking some time out of your day, an early start to your day, and hopefully your day and your work there bears fruit for not only the Lima Serra Club, but also for vocations in general, as we all should pray for a increase in vocations, because our world sorely needs it. So thank you again, Gino, for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, folks, it is the Spring Spirit Drive here at Holy Family Radio. 888-287-0655, 888-287-0655. We have one phone line available. One is taken right now. 888-287-0655. If you are waiting to call later, I would advise you not to, because it will get busy later on.
And we have matching funds available right now.
We do have matching funds available. So please.
Yeah, why not call right now and take advantage of that?
Mm-hmm.
And don't then you don't run the risk of a busy signal. 888-287-0655. You can also donate online via holyfamilyradio.fm through the Holy Family Radio app or by texting the word GIVE to 419-969-3255.
Yep, our website, holyfamilyradio.fm. You can find out everything there. We now have 2 phone lines open. So 888-287-0655, 888-287-0655. Why not make a donation in Thanksgiving for a seminarian or a priest that you know that has touched your life, that you can do that in honor of them? Why not do that here at Holy Family Radio? We can announce that and offer that in Thanksgiving. That would be a great way to honor vocations and to help foster those vocations. 888-287-0655. We will take a break at the top of the hour. At 9 o'clock, we'll be talking to Father Phil Smith. He is the director of the Office for Diocesan Priestly Vocation. So it's a great follow-up to our discussion here with Gino this morning. So if you want to continue the theme of vocations, you can make those donations right now. 888-287-0655. We'll go to a break. We'll be talking at you when we come back. So don't forget to call and make your pledges now.